participants of Ayetoro, a remote town in the larger local government area on the Atlantic coastline of Ondo State, Nigeria, singing as they commemorate the day their founding fathers stepped on the land they now call home. The founding apostles, as they are referred to, bid farewell to what they termed inhuman practices carried out then in their host and surrounding communities, and settled in a land where only the Christian God shall be worshipped. The settlement of about 32,000 Elijah-speaking people, now 68 years old, and despite the years gone by, the legend is still well preserved. Jele Kudenyibo is the principal secretary of the community.
What we refer to as the foundation of Ayetoro community today, that is sort of a religious movement of some people, our forefathers. So they decided that they have to be together in order to practice what they believe in. That is, all things that worshipping of idols and sacrificing human beings for their gods. So they decided to stay in a place and fight these things out. So many of them were imprisoned, but they continued until in 1947. Somebody also was inspired that God said this will move from the land of Egypt and come to a promised land that God has given to them.
Ayetoro from the onset was set out to be the biblical Canaan land for the Elijahs that settled in. Nonetheless, as the social-economic landscape took the form of a promised land at the initial stage, human activities, most especially the exploration of oil in the Niger Delta, which has been the backbone of Nigeria's economy since it gained independence from Britain in 1960, and other changing climatic conditions threw the town into environmental difficulties. The incessant ocean incursion that continues to engulf the land has meant that the used to be sustainable economic framework designed to sustain living was truncated. The promises the founding fathers of Ayetoro gave to the people were to build houses, provide food and water. Practicing what is closely related to communism system of government led by a spiritual leader, they were able to pull their resources together, built houses for all members and fed them from a common purse. They took advantage of the coast to venture into fishing in the water that now frightens them.
They decided to go into mechanized fishing, that is trawlers. So we have carpenters that can build trawlers, and that was what they did. They built trawlers. They built about 7 trawlers that go into the deep sea to catch fish and then sell out of them. In 1972 to 5 or so, we built the largest trawler in the West African sub-region. Yes. So this development attracted even as far as the then Western region government to come and see how we have been able to develop and feed a large number of people who are members of the community and provide accommodation, feeding and clothing for them.
Till date, many in the community still profit from fishing. However, with the current situation of frequent rise in water level, fishing has now become a difficult means of living, as the fishers catch are either scanty or reduced to crabs, crayfish and other smaller aquatic animals. Fisherwoman Doris Biobaku decries challenges she and her colleagues cope with while trying to make ends meet.
If river rough, every better town, they destroy time, no get to work. So everything just dey wahala us here. No fit work, wetin no even boat sef. To enter inside go fishing is wahala. So everybody just dey up like that. Nowhere to go if river just dey rough, just dey stand to look am.
Seriously, that affected Ayetoro seriously. Apart from the fact that some of our houses have been lost into the sea. The sea incursion coupled with the activities of the oil companies have deprived us of our mainstay, which is fishing, because all the species of fish have moved far into the deep sea. that it's very difficult for someone with artisan farming, fishing, to go out and fish. So it has affected us a lot, both about the economy, our settlements and everything.
Occupants with houses near the shore as expected at the worst heat. For some, it has become a generational battle with water taking their abodes. Nicodemus Anifowoshe fought unsuccessfully against the tide destroying his house till his death. Now his son, Oluwasegun, is doing the same.
This house belongs to my father, but then this house is about, let's say about 20 kilometers from the sea. But now the house are close to the sea, and some room has been collapsed. This is the parlor. The building have collapsed, and you have tried to build another building now. We don't have much money to build this house again, but we acquire a loan. We acquire a loan to build the house.
Nearby neighbor Samagbeyi Olushola, who just returned home from national service, also struggles to come to terms with the state of his environment. He went on to describe what the house owned by his father used to be.
This house, when it was built, it was very, very okay, and even everybody around here like, wow, this is good. But if you look at the environment very well, you find out that the sea has claimed, the sea has claimed a lot of places, and including the house. If you look at it, it has divided the house into two, that even the occupants can't even stay inside. Imagine when occupants came back for Christmas and New Year, they couldn't stay in their house. You know how it felt. So this is one of the problems we are facing here concerning the sea menace and all that towards the houses around here. And like me now, I just came back from where I'm serving. So this is what I met. And before I left, it hasn't get to this stage, but it happens every day. And the matter is getting worse by the day. We don't even have any other place to go. We don't have a place to go, and no other place we can ship in as a shelter as it stands. You can see the wave. It's like every day. It's like every day. At times it will bring the mud to fill the whole place. Before we know what happened, it will just wipe everything off. So including the houses, and it's not only this. Starting from more than 20 houses, and even this sea you are seeing, all these places that has claimed, we have some buildings there before, but due to the menace, and we don't know where to run to again.
The obvious is when water threatens the land, it threatens everything, including education. Like many other children that grew up in the area, Benson Aribo, a businessman who plies his trade across water, remembers vividly the settings of classrooms that existed at the old RPCT College, the only one in Ayetoro, which was established by the community itself before parts of the structures were washed away by the strong tide. Standing very close to the water beside crumbs of old blocks, the location wakes up touchy memories in Aribo.
When I was a kid, the sea was very far from us. But look at what is happening now. In the next 10 years, we don't know what happens.
The Olugbo of Ugbo Kingdom, Oba Frederick Obateru Akinruto, who doubles as the overall head of Ayetoro, still has a grip on history of how the town helped open up and brought considerable development to other towns in his kingdom, even as Ayetoro now looks a shadow of itself.
Ayetoro don't like you or like this. It is only Ayetoro that socialize in Nigeria. And we should say the truth and we shall be set free. Ayetoro don't like you or like this. You are still very, you are not the it is that socialize that will make by time of it. Oh, Ayetoro go on the supply. It was that boat that took us to supply there.
Kudanyimbu explains more.
Then the Lajes were not known to other sub-tribes, Yoruba sub-tribes. But because of the development that was taking place in Ayetoro, the Lajes were known all over the place. We also went as far as helping other theocratic settlements like Ugbola, Oriokewamimo, Zion Pepe. We went there to help them to do some communal work that ought to have attracted a lot of money to do. So with this, the people of Ayetoro were respected for this, and the transportation in Laje before Ayetoro came around was very difficult. Ayetoro was able to make water transfer very easy for them. With little amount of money they were asked to pay. That's why they usually refer to Ayetoro brought the development to Ilajena. So Ayetoro community was the first to get electricity in the old Ondo state, the whole of Ondo state, that is Ondo and Ekiti. We were the first to be enjoying electricity because we bought our generator in 1953. So, and we are providing electricity for the whole town, day and night.
In their pressing concern, residents over the years have maintained disquiet about their environmental misfortune. And after years of wailing and protest, the federal government of Nigeria, through the Niger Delta Development Commission, for the first time awarded a shoreline protection project contract in 2004.
First of all, I awarded to Garlet Nigeria Limited in 2004. Later, in 2006 or so, the contract was cancelled and re-awarded to Dredging Atlantic.
10 years after the first contract was awarded, a visit to the area shows little or no significant work being done, with sand material, pipes and dredges rusty due to inactivity, thereby leaving the land ever vulnerable to being totally overrun by water as the stretch of land gets narrower by the day. The Dragon Seashore project will go down in history as one of the many shoddily handled multi-million naira projects in Nigeria, some of which may never reach completion stage. David Kudenyibu believes the poor handling of work is not unconnected with the long history of government and officials in authorities condoning irregularities.
There is a common balance that corruption in Nigeria today have become very endemic, that it has come to stay with us. Because if you are given a project to play and those who gave you the project cannot monitor you very well, then the project, it will be difficult to do the project. They will even be telling the government that it has been done, and government officers will come and say it has been done. Because we've seen in the paper where they write that Ayetoro Sea project has almost been completed. I think you have seen yourself now that nothing has been done. So corruption in the high places, those who gave her the contract, those who execute the project, they are all involved in this thing.
For the people of Ayetoro, hope is not lost yet, but will ultimately require the intervention of the new government of President Muhammadu Buhari to fix the situation.
We are waiting for the government to do something because we really believe they can do something about it by coming down here and help us to, if it's embankment, they carry out the project, which it will be part of the development of this nation.
It remains to be seen how speedily succor will come. The sands of Ayetoro may be halting for the time being, but not the faith and the zeal of the warmly energetic worshippers at the happy city of the apostles, whose languages of worship go beyond both local and Christian terms.
Oh,